Facebook is one of the most powerful platforms when it comes to machine learning and cost-effective advertising, but it's often overlooked when it comes to B2B marketing. But in this ultimate B2B Facebook marketing guide, I'm going to give you a complete masterclass to allow you to successfully run Facebook ad campaigns for your business. I promise you, by the end of this video, you will have all of the knowledge and skills required to be able to run a campaign on Facebook, to be able to explode the growth rate of your business. Now, in this video, we're going to go through strategically what you need to do when planning out a Facebook ad campaign, the tactics you need to implement to successfully execute upon those strategies, what practices the top performing companies implement to allow them to successfully run ad campaigns, and what you should avoid like the plague, the most common mistakes everyone makes. I'm also going to give you a framework to help you determine whether Facebook ads are right for you, and I'm going to give you the most effective ad funnels that we've seen work and the numbers you should even expect to see by running those funnels. So because this is an ultimate guide and I want it to bring you more value than a paid course, it is jam-packed with information. So to make your life a little bit easier, I've added chapters to the playhead at the bottom of this video. So if you feel you need a specific set of information, feel free to skip. And if you're watching the video and think, I already know this, skip forward to a section that is going to help you out. Additionally, if you're watching a section of the video and you're thinking, this is great, but I need to go even more in depth, I guarantee there will be another video on this channel going to another level of depth. So if you want to see that content, just subscribe or check out other videos on our channel. So what makes Facebook ads so good? Well, it comes down to two core factors. The first is Facebook and Instagram have the largest user base of any social media platform. As a result, you have the largest pool of people to be able to advertise to. Secondly, Facebook has insanely powerful machine learning. So Facebook can read your adverts, it knows what you're saying in your videos, it knows what your landing pages are referencing, so it can get an idea of who you're trying to advertise to. Then, provided you give Facebook enough information, and I'm going to talk you through exactly how to do this, it will learn who the best people to advertise to are for your exact situation to bring you the results that you want. No other platform has that insane level of power and the data points that Facebook has to be able to execute upon that. So Facebook's superpower is the ability for you to let it bring you the results that you want and for it to do all of the heavy lifting for you, provided you let it. And as I say in this video, I'm going to talk through exactly how you do that. Additionally, Facebook is a relatively cheap platform to advertise on. So comparatively, if you wanted to advertise on LinkedIn, your CPM or cost per 1,000 impressions would be a lot higher. And as a result, you end up paying more for a lead or for a conversion. Whereas on Facebook, the CPMs tend to be a bit lower, and as a result you pay less for leads or conversions. Unfortunately, it's not all pros when it comes to running Facebook ads. Every platform has its advantages and disadvantages. So with Facebook, the main drawback is that you can get lower quality leads. Even if you follow all the best practices and your ads are insanely specific, we want to speak to this exact audience, and you make that clear throughout every step, you will still get unqualified people filling out your forms. No matter what you do, this will always happen. It's less likely to happen on a platform like LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, where you might find higher lead costs, you're almost guaranteed through the fact that they are on LinkedIn and self-selection of that activity that they are going to be qualified. Whereas on Facebook, sometimes you just can't work around that low lead quality. Now, this is a con that you do get lower quality leads. Having said that, the leads are cheaper and you do get a higher volume of them. So ultimately it works out as roughly the same. You just have to filter more through more unqualified people to get the results you want. Additionally, because Facebook relies on machine learning, you need to be able to give it everything it needs to be able to learn. So you need your account set up in a way that enables Facebook to do its job. And if you don't do that properly, you won't see the right results. And it can be quite overwhelming to begin with to get everything set up. Obviously, I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video though. Now, before we continue, I just want to let you know my company, Tech Growth Marketing, is currently giving away free growth strategy sessions. So if you are looking to run a Facebook campaign, but you're thinking, this is a bit overwhelming, I want someone who knows what they're doing to do it for me, this might be for you. This offer is only available to companies that are established and looking to scale up. So you must be able to spend roughly $5,000 per month to be able to qualify for this call. But if that is you and you want to apply, there's a link in the description below. Anyway, let's continue with the video. So how do you know if Facebook ads are right for you? Well, I'm going to give you a really quick framework you can use to help decide that. Firstly, it comes down to a really boring mathematical equation. Is your average order value, the value of a customer to you, higher than the cost of acquiring that customer with enough of a profit margin to make it viable. That's basically it. A lead on Facebook varies massively. I'm going to give you some numbers later in the video, but it varies depending on your target audience, what you're offering, loads of variables that are outside of your control. If the cost per lead is equal to or higher than the value of a customer, you're never going to be profitable. Now, as a general rule of thumb, if your average order value is like 1,000 to 3,000, you're probably okay, and you'll probably have a good time and be able to get significant return on investment for your campaign. If it's above 3,000, probably even easier to see returns on that campaign. But as your average order value starts to get lower, like each customer we acquire, we only actually make $200 off them in their entire lifetime, you're going to find it hard to make return on investment. You can do things to improve this. So you could add in upsells to increase the value of each individual customer, for example. But ultimately, there is a cost to acquiring leads on Facebook. You will not close every lead you acquire, guaranteed. Some will be unqualified, some won't show up to sales calls. The ones that do show up to sales calls, you're not going to close all of them. Even, no matter how good your offer is, you are not going to close all of them. So you need to take all of that into account. And obviously higher average order values make that way easier. Next up, you simply need a structure that you can plug into Facebook ads. If you struggle to acquire clients on any channel and then you say, well, we're going to spend money on paid advertising, it's probably not going to work because you haven't cracked the code yet. You haven't figured it out. Facebook ads are best as a way to scale up an existing method that already works. So ideally, you should understand how to follow up leads and close leads. If you've never done that before and you've only ever relied on referrals and network before, it's an entirely different game you're going to play. So you need to ensure that you have a structure that already works that you can plug into Facebook ads. Also, you need to ensure you have a strong product market fit. If you struggle to sell your product or service anywhere, then going to Facebook isn't going to resolve that problem. You're just going to encounter more of the same problem, because the problem at its core probably isn't how or where you're advertising, it's probably what you're actually selling. So just make sure that the market actually wants what it is you're selling first. So you should now understand the foundations. What are the pros and cons of Facebook and what are some things you need to avoid? Now we're going to look at how the ads manager is structured. So the ad manager is structured in 3 different tiers. At the top, you have campaigns. Within campaigns, you can determine the objective that Facebook is going to optimize your ads for. Then, beneath each campaign, you can create multiple ad sets. Within ad sets, you determine the audience that those ads are going to go to, and you determine the placements, i.e. where those ads are going to be shown. Then below ad set level, you have the ad level. This is where you literally upload the image or video that you want to show people and some of the text that's going to be included in those adverts. Budgets can be set at either the campaign level or the ad set level. The difference in these two is, at campaign level, you can set something called campaign budget optimization. This allows Facebook to look at multiple ad sets within each campaign and pick the winner, which is the most effective. It will then spend in the way it thinks is the optimum to bring you the best results. If, however, you want a bit more control, you can also set the budget at the ad set level. So you can say, well, I know this campaign works and I know this campaign works. I want a bit more manual control, so I will spend £10 a day on this campaign and £100 a day on this other campaign. So what's a good account structure? Well, if you're just getting started, I'd recommend having one campaign for cold, that's people who've never heard of you, and one campaign for warm, that's people who have interacted with your ads or seen you before, and you're simply remarketing to them. Within the cold campaign, I would set up 3 different ad sets. Within each ad set, target the same audience but in different ways. I'll talk you through how you target in a second. Then, within each ad set, have a dynamic ad duplicated. So the same dynamic ad, just in each individual ad set. Then you want to set the budget optimization at campaign level. What this does is it, as I said at the start, puts all of the power in Facebook's hands. Facebook will run your ads to people and it will allocate your ad spend to the best audience it can find. And because you're also using dynamic ads, which is a way that rotates different ads and it tests everything for you, it will ultimately find what the best advert is and what the best audience is in the most effective manner to bring you the result you need. So as a quick recap, you'll have your campaign, then you'll have 3 different ad sets testing the same audience, and then you'll have a dynamic ad in each. With the warm campaign, it's a little bit easier. You have one campaign, you have one ad set with just remarketing audiences in it, and then you'll upload a suite of different ads, as many as you can, into that account so that people keep seeing different content, but they keep seeing it over and over again. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's normal. There is a lot to go through. You might need to watch this video several times. However, if you're thinking, I just want someone to do this for me, as I say, my company, Tech Growth Marketing, we can potentially help. We have done for you services, or we have consultation services where we teach you one-on-one, get everything set up for you, teach your internal teams, and you can apply for a free growth strategy call where we'll go through your exact situation and give you advice for free by clicking a link in the description below. Also, if you are enjoying this video and you could leave a like or subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated, and I hope you're enjoying the video. Let's continue. So now we know how to structure an ad account, we need to set our audiences. As I said before, audiences are set at the ad set level. People can be targeted in a myriad of different ways on Facebook. The three primary ways we tend to use, although it can vary, is targeting based on their interests, targeting based on the industries they work in, or targeting based on their job titles. Now, as you're going to have three ad sets, you can combine these three factors to create different audiences. You could have ad set A, where you target people in X industry, but also who have an interest in Y. Or your second audience, where you have people who have an interest in X and Y. You want to combine these factors and come up with different audiences. You're going to be testing new audiences over and over again, so it doesn't matter too much, just have three different variations. Now, for B2B, there are some specific B2B targeting functions. So you can target people who work at enterprise level organizations, or you can target IT decision makers. You can target people who own and run Facebook business pages. There are some options in there, but generally speaking, you actually just want to be fairly broad. So you can say, I want someone who has an interest in HR, and that's enough, because Facebook is going to pocket down and say, well, yeah, there's this massive pool of people, but I can read the advert, I can read the landing page, I can watch the video, I know what it's talking about, and it has way more data points than you can conceive. So it will focus in on a small subset of that massive audience that you've created. Now, when creating ads for B2B, to try and combat the low quality of lead issue, there can be this desire to try and be super specific with your ads. I only want people with this job title. The drawback to that you tend to see is that your audience sizes get teeny tiny, like 10,000, 20,000 people. On Facebook, it's far better to have a larger audience than it is to have a smaller audience. If you create a tiny audience, what's going to happen is your Facebook ads will run and they'll burn out super quickly. Facebook simply won't have the amount of people in that pool to be able to keep your ad account going or to allow you to scale it up. So as a rule of thumb, and this varies depending on the geographies you're advertising in, what industry, obviously, but as a rule of thumb, you want roughly a minimum audience size of 250,000 people. There are exceptions to the rule. Sometimes you'll want that to be a lot higher, sometimes maybe a little bit smaller, but I cannot stress enough, it's better for you to be more broad and have a larger audience than it is to be super specific. I'm now going to talk you through the most effective funnels you can run on Facebook for B2B, and I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to give you two. The first one is a simple landing page funnel. You have an advert on Facebook, either an image ad or a video ad, I'd recommend. Those ads speak explicitly about who the advert is for and what it is you are offering. Those adverts then send people to a landing page. That landing page gives people additional information to your offer. It has things like social proof, testimonials, tells them what's going to happen in the next steps of the process, whatever is needed to give that person enough information to be able to commit to the action you want them to take. Then after the landing page, you can send people to a sign-up page where they fill out their information. Once they have filled out their information, they get sent to a thank you page, and that thank you page is confirmation they have received their application, and it's also a way to fire information back to Facebook that we have acquired a successful lead, and this is what a successful lead looks like so that Facebook can start learning. That's a very, very simple funnel. There is an alternative to this, which is even easier, and that is a lead form funnel. With this funnel, you will have a single image or a video, exactly the same as before, but instead of sending someone to a landing page, you open a Facebook lead form. This is native to Facebook, and as a result, you tend to get more people completing the lead form. Additionally, lead forms allow you to use something called lead nurturing, where you can ask someone a question and you can tell Facebook if they answer it this, then it's a lead. If they answer it that, it's not a lead. And that again helps filter out people and increase your lead quality. Once someone has completed the lead form, you then send them to a landing page. But on this landing page, you have a quick video describing what your service is, and you have the ability for them to schedule in with a call with you using something like Calendly. This is the same as the call funnel. I said before, we send someone to a landing page, but by replacing the landing page with the lead form, you will get more leads into your business. No matter whether you are just starting out or you're advanced, if you're a B2B company, these are the two most effective funnels. They are easy to implement, and also, as I say, they bring the best results. Now, I've spoken about remarketing, and remarketing is a very powerful tool. As an overview, if you don't understand what this is, most people take roughly 8 touch points to be able to convert on an offer. Don't get me wrong, some people convert on the first touch point, some people convert on the 50th touch point, but as an average, let's say about 8 touch points. So someone needs to see you in their feed 8 different times to be able to have enough trust or understand what it is you do, etc., etc. So what you want to do is you want to have your cold campaigns going out to people who've never heard of you, and then you want to remarket to them so they keep seeing you over and over again, so that those people who don't take immediate action have the opportunity to see you multiple times and then take action. Now, within the Ads Manager, there is a section called Audiences, and within Audiences, you can create audiences based on activities they've performed. Some of these audiences are native to Facebook, and therefore they are extremely effective. Audience such as video viewers or lead form openers. Facebook gets to keep all this data because it's native to their platform. What recently happened is, you're probably aware, there have been loads of changes in terms of privacy policy. So what used to happen is you build audiences based off a Facebook pixel that was on your website. But now, because of privacy policy changes, that is less effective. By utilizing native audiences for remarketing, you allow for the complete capture of all that information. Whereas if you rely on a pixel on a website, you only collect 40% on average of the audience that is actually visiting your website. But having said that, you still want to create audiences based on remarketing for website viewers, but just be aware it's now more effective to have native audiences. Once you have your audiences set up, those are the people you're going to use in your warm remarketing campaign. So what numbers should you be seeing on Facebook? You're going to run a campaign, but ultimately, if you're smart, it does come down to numbers. What's my cost per click? What's my cost per acquisition? As I spoke about earlier in this video. Everything I'm going to give you is an average, so take it all with a pinch of salt. These numbers vary depending on who you're advertising to, what time of year it is, what your offer is. There's so many different factors that influence these. So the average cost per click on Facebook is roughly 97 cents. The average CPM, or cost per 1,000 impressions, is roughly $14. And the average click-through rate is roughly 0.9%. And in terms of a cost per lead, you're looking somewhere between $15 to $200, $250. It depends on what your offer is and who you're advertising to. So there are some of these factors that you control and other factors that you don't have as much control over. You control your click-through rates, but you don't control your CPM, your cost per 1,000 impressions. Cost per 1,000 impressions is highly dictated by how many other people want to advertise to that single person. If loads of people are trying to advertise to the same person, it drives up the cost of advertising to them. So focus on the factors you do control. You control your click-through rate, and by having a really good click-through rate, you can lower your cost per click relative to the cost per 1,000 impressions. To improve your click-through rate, for example, you can just create better ads, test more of them, and make sure you use more of those winners. I really hope you're enjoying this video. It's taken a lot of time to script this, film it, and edit it. So if you are enjoying it and you could consider leaving a like or subscribing as a thank you, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, that's absolutely fine. Anyway, let's continue with the video. Now, in terms of ad types, what are the ad types that you should use? Well, if you're starting out and if it's B2B, I would strongly recommend sticking to just 2. Again, keep your life simple, just go for the most effective methods. I would recommend sticking to single image ads and video ads. Simple. The only thing you need to ensure with these ads is that they are specific. Make sure that the videos directly address who your target audience is. So if your target audience is HR managers, say in the advert, "Hey, HR managers," it's going to help you get better results. Or if your offer is for, I don't know, a free trial of a piece of software, say, hey, HR managers, we're going to give you a free trial of this software. This software does boom, 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 something like that. Keep it very simple, very, very obvious. Write your ads as if you are speaking to a fifth grader. Now you have a load of knowledge, but how do we go about building and launching a Facebook ads campaign? I'm going to talk you through that step by step. In fact, there are 5 steps you need to follow. Firstly, you need to do some market research. So you need to understand who it is you're going to be advertising to. Firstly, that's going to help you inform the 3 different ad set audiences you're going to build. But also, understanding your audience allows you to correctly write out and create those ads that Facebook is going to read when it starts displaying your ads to people. So if you understand the language that your target audience uses and what their pains are and their desires, then you can write ads in a way that speak to them. And that is very, very, very important. In fact, it's one of the most important factors when determining a campaign's success. After you've done market research and you're happy that you truly understand who your target audience is, then you want to move on to strategic planning. Within this phase, you will determine what's going to happen. What funnel type are we going to use? How long is the campaign going to run? What's going to happen when we get the lead? How are we going to follow up with those people? How are we going to sell to those people? Map out the end-to-end process so you know exactly what's going to happen once the campaign launches. Then, once you understand your audience and you have your strategic plan, you're going to go into asset creation. A lot of people skip the first 2 steps and go straight to asset creation because it's fun. You get to make adverts, like cool, snazzy looking adverts, or film videos, or write copy. That's all great, but you need the understanding of your audience to be able to write that, and you need the strategy behind it to be able to know where you're sending people or how to prime people in those adverts. So asset creation is the creation of the ads. Then we're going to upload the ads and get the campaign live. So you'll set up your campaign structure within Facebook, you'll set up your audiences, and then you'll upload all the adverts you've created. And then you will press go live and your adverts will start delivering. Then finally, step 5 is monitoring and improvement. This is a continuous iterative cycle. In fact, what's going to happen likely is you will go through these 5 steps over and over and over again. And each time you do, everything will improve just slightly. So what you want to do in continuous improvement is look at your ad sets. Which ones were the most effective? Which audiences were the winners? Which adverts had the greatest impact on your audience? Then you want to double down and do more of those successful actions, and you want to stop doing the actions that don't work. You'll also find, going through this process over and over again and seeing what works and what didn't, that you can influence your market research at the start and your understanding of your audience. We know that our audience respond to ads that mention XYZ, but we know that they never respond to blah, blah, blah. Great examples, I know, but you get the point. Now some quickfire FAQs, things that people often ask. So how much should you spend on Facebook ads? We recommend to our clients that you spend between $3,000 and $5,000 per month to begin with. And then after 1 to 2 months, once the structure is proven, you know it's working, you want to scale it up so that you keep on making more and more money. If you're making return on your Facebook ads, you want to spend more money up until a point you reach a cap. If you can't spend $3,000 to $5,000, yes, you can get away with spending less. Some months we only spend about $1,000 to $1,500 on our advertising, and that brings us enough leads that, operationally we can't handle more work. So yes, you can spend more. If you're spending $100, $200 for a whole campaign, never going to work ever. There is a bottom end limit. Facebook needs the data to be able to learn. If you don't give it the opportunity to present your ads to enough people, it will never learn. So yeah, as a minimum, we tend to recommend $3,000 to $5,000, but you can maybe get away with $1,000, $1,500 if you really know what you're doing. And if you're watching this video, you probably don't. So yeah, I'd recommend spending enough money to give Facebook the data that it needs to be successful. Next question, how long does it take to get a Facebook advertising campaign live? Well, if you have to go through that whole process I said, the market research all the way through to launching your campaign and continuous improvement, it can take a while. It could take a month if you haven't really done any market research before, but it can also, if you already have that core understanding, take 1 to 2 weeks. If you already have content that you can use as advertising, it can genuinely take 1 to 2 days. So it depends on how well you are, in how well you're set up in terms of your foundations now as to how quickly you can get a campaign live. Next up, how long until I start seeing results? Well, realistically, really, really quick. You can start seeing results and getting an idea of how well your campaign is going to go within 1 to 2 days. I would strongly recommend leaving it at least 3 days before you make any core decisions or turn a campaign off. What tends to happen is if a trend is going the same direction for 3 days, then it can be determined as a trend. So if your campaign has been running on a reasonable ad spend for at least 3 days and you're getting no leads in at all, there's probably something wrong you need to change. You usually start to see results within the first day or two, genuinely. Sometimes you turn a campaign on and just immediately start getting leads. If your campaign's been running for weeks and you've had nothing and you're spending enough money, you need to turn it off. You should now have a full understanding as to everything you need to be able to successfully run Facebook ads. If, however, you're thinking, well, yeah, I understood that, but I need more information, I guarantee there's a video on this channel that's going to give you everything you need. So if you want to see that, make sure you press subscribe and just check out the guides. Also, if there's something that you want to see and you can't find it, just leave a comment below and I will not only make a video about that thing, I will call you out in the video and say, hey, I made this video for you. Also, as I've said in this video, this took a long time to script, to record and to edit. So if you could leave a like or subscribe just as a thank you, I would really appreciate it. Also, my company Tech Growth Marketing is giving away free growth strategy sessions. In these growth strategy sessions, I sit with you one-on-one personally. We go through your company so I gain a core understanding of what it is you do, what it is you're trying to achieve, and then I give you advice bespoke as to your exact situation, what I would advise you do. Those calls are only available to companies that are established and looking to scale. If you can't spend $3,000 to $5,000 a month on Facebook ads at present, this probably isn't for you. If you do want to apply for that call, there is a link in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.